Hello, very good morning to all. On this beautiful morning, I, Sri Krishna Bobde, on behalf of Chemical Engineering Department, Finolex Academy of Management and Technology, Ratnagiri, I welcome each and everyone on this brainstorming webinar on my story motivational session by a successful startup founder, Dr. Sandip Patil. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to our today's chief guest, Dr. Sandip Patil. Welcome, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Bobde sir. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah.
I welcome everyone on behalf of the Chemical Engineering Department and ICC Cell FMT Ratnagiri, who has clubbed all of us for this webinar. Uh, May I now request Dr. Nitin Kanse sir, HOD Chemical Engineering Department, Ratnagiri, to introduce our chief guest. Thank you. Please, sir.
Very good morning to all present here. On the behalf of Chemical Engineering Department and IEDC cell of FMT Ratnagiri, I welcome to our today's chief guest, Dr. Sandip Patil sir. It's an honor to have such an young dynamic entrepreneur among us. Thank you sir for accepting the invitation and joining the today's event. Now I introduce our today's chief guest. Dr. Sandeep Patil is the founder and director of Ispin Nanotech Private Limited. He has completed his PhD in chemical engineering from IIT Kanpur. He has published several papers in international and national journals. He also has patent in the field of nanofiber technology. Dr. Sandeep Patil founded Ispin Nanotech in 2010 while still pursuing his PhD. Under his leadership, eSpin Nanotech develops various nanofiber-based commercial products for the filtration and purification. The company also designed and developed the innovative SOSA N95 mask in 2019, a product that went on to become India's most trusted N95 mask. Today, Dr. Sandeep Patil is recognized as a successful entrepreneur in the field of nanofiber technology. He received many awards for his contributions to the field of science and entrepreneurship. He was also selected as the CEO of the Year by the Business Magazine CEO Insight in 2020. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and present here. Now, I request Dr. Sandeep Patil, sir, to enlighten our students regarding how to become an entrepreneur. Sir, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Nitin, my friend, uh, Mr. Sri Krishna Bobde, and Finoles Academy of Management and the Technology, and all the faculty members. This is my pleasure to be here, and this is a wonderful morning over here. I mean, like we are in the North India, and it is always very cold. But today it seems little sunny and little warm, so we can take out our sweaters and sit calmly over here. Uh, Calling sir from me and Sri Krishna was together in UDCT Jalgaon, NMU, and we always you know uh, have togetherness in many subjects related to our academics. Thank you for the invitation. Again, what should say, when the person who is your friend calls sir, it is always awkward moment for the people who are close friends. So Krishna just call me Sandeep rather than calling Sandeep sir. Okay, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for the invitation. Let me share my experience, what I have done, how I have gone through from the small village to the the IIT and the IIT to the entrepreneurship. The journey is very interesting and the fascinating, as well as it is very, very challenging when you enter the things that you don't know in the first stage. And the moment you enter in this particular areas, those are really new to you, how you are going to face those challenges every day, that is really interesting. So I'll share my presentation. The presentation is related not only the entrepreneurship, but also it is related to the research that I have done during my PhD, and how that innovation is commercialized from lab to commercial scale. That is also will explain one by one. So let me share my screen or slides, I think would be, you can see my presentation, right? So you can see my presentation, correct? Krishna?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So sometime it is, in a technology era, it is always challenging while sharing it. I'm facing many times, this kind of stuff. So sorry for this. The today's subject and the topic would be create a brand and transform your dream into the reality. So the the subtitle is something, completely take you to the different era of imagination, because everyone has the dream, but what is missing is that dream should always go into the reality. Many times we fail to do that, and because of not following the dream, we always miss the bus, and the bus is not something, it is related to the everything. uh, this photographs is basically of my two kids, my daughters. One, the Nitya, she is the younger one, elder one, and the Swara is the younger one. And in our house, or maybe in the family, we always we always grow in a such a way that we always have been asked one question is always famous, like what you want to become. And our obvious answer to that question, which is being asked by our society, that is related to I will be a doctor, I will be an engineer, or maybe CA, CS, whatever. There are many options to choose, but one option is always missing, and that is related to the entrepreneurship. So this is the time and this is the era we should ask our kids, we should ask ourselves, we should ask the people who are in the society what you want to become. And in the entire dictionary, the one word should be added is that entrepreneur, or maybe the businessman, businesswoman. This is the key of success, I should say, today, because in the entrepreneurship is the only way to achieve your dream. Of course, many of you having different dreams, but is one of the dream where you can achieve many things what you want. So always the question is what you want to become, and as I said, one should add in the dictionary, that is the entrepreneurship. Here is a background. I belong to, though I'm staying in North India in UP. Uh, I came here to do my PhD from Maharashtra, and still I'm staying in Maharashtra. My family, my younger brother, my father, and entire family is staying over there. I always used to visit once in a month from Kanpur to Dhule. Dhule is the district which is in North Maharashtra, near to Jalgaon. From there, my village is around 36 kilometer on the way to the Shahada Nandurbar. Nandurbar is the last district of our Maharashtra state, which is closely connected with MP and Gujarat. So it is up exactly 36 kilometer, 40 kilometer from my the district, and village is very small. Like in Maharashtra and everywhere, the small towns, they are really a very small towns. This is has almost 1500 of population, and out of that 75% of the population, they're basically tribes. And uh, those tribes, they are basically their daily routine, daily wage is that whatever they are earning in a day, they are spending up to that. Okay, so this is what how they are. Then 25% population, they are farmers and like me. Okay, we have the our daily again what we do, only a farming, that is the actual business we have. So this is ultimately the things that basically we do. So what this photograph means, the photograph is taken from my terrace where you can take a right click and the left click, and that's it. The village is over. Okay, so this is a very small town, and from there I did my BTech and then MTech and then PhD. So all the way to here, and then entrepreneur and the businessman. So here is he is my young brother who's staying with, who is standing with me on the cotton farm, where we do always, we have the cotton is the major cultivation that we do mostly. Uh, so why I'm showing this slide? Okay, before we proceed. So we, whatever we want to do and we wanted to do, we always look back for our background. I mean, we always look back for the background, and that is if I'm the farmer's son, or maybe if I'm the poor family kid, they, I may not be able to do it because I don't have that much of support, or maybe I may not able to get that much of support, or maybe I'm living in a society there where I don't have that exposure where I can grow. But ultimately, if that is true, so background really matters. This question is something different. So if the background really matters, and that what we think in that way, that if I'm the farmer's sons, I may not be able to doctor or engineer or entrepreneur, I may not be able to go that level where I want it, because my family or maybe my background doesn't support that. Many of villages in Maharashtra, they are, the people, they are really poor, as well as there is still, we don't have good education. The same thing that had happened with me, because there was no school in my college, sorry, in my village. So ultimately I have to go somewhere. My mamas, they took me to their homes, and I did my entire education until 10th class over there. So background really matters. To come to the point, there's the very, the famous this thing. So this guy, I mean, like, uh, everyone. Okay, so Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the person who started his early life from the very poor family. Okay, I mean, I no need to say anything on this platform. Everybody knows each and everything in and out of the president. I mean, like, our past president. So what was that? He always used to say, success is when your signature changes to an autograph. Okay, and that is how we connect this line with our today's topic. Create a brand and transform your dream into the reality. So when it will be only when success is when your signature changes to an autograph. So what is exactly, so considering this thing, and not having the limitation of my background, not having limitation of my societal connects where I grown up, so I have decided to start something. But before that, I did my BTech, MTech, and PhD, from starting from the small village where there was no school. I started my schooling in second class onward. So I never went in first class even. Second class even after 6 months, not in the first 6 months. Then I started the schooling. Then I roam around, like, until fourth class somewhere else. Then until eighth class somewhere else. Then 10th class somewhere else. 11th somewhere else. 12th somewhere else. So I was not on the spot where you can get all the education. I went everywhere. So just to pass my 12th class. Then I got entered into the BTech at chemical BTech in chemical technology at UD City, UD City Jalgaon. Then I did my master's from MS University Baroda and PhD from IIT Kanpur. During this journey, I learned a lot. Uh, how to do a research in a better way. That is also I learn a lot from IITK. Along with that, when I was given a problem related to the nanofiber technology, I admitted here in IITK in 2006 for my PhD program, and the topic that I chosen that is related to the nano adhesives as well as nanofiber technology to develop some materials for the various applications and for the filtration. So there was a problem was given by Professor Ashutosh Sharma. Professor Ashutosh Sharma was the DST secretary. Now it is retired from there. So he was the key person in my life who changed the life entirely. So he is not only guru but more than that. So 2010 was when it was the company that I started. But before that 2008 was the time he came to. I mean, we were having the lab meeting, and in the lab meeting he said that we want to solve this problem, and that is related to nanofiber technology, and we wanted to buy the machine, but we could not able to buy it. The cost was very high, and though it was imported. So he told me and everyone that who will take the lead to build the machine in here itself in the lab. So no one was there, but I have decided, sir, I will build the machine for our my own research. And he said, yes, go ahead, you start it. So it was a time in 2008 I started building the machine. It took almost 6 months to develop the machine. It is indigenously completely Indian made machine that we have developed. That is called electrospinning machine for the nanofiber creation, manufacture of nanofibers with a different polymers. It When it was developed in 2008 until 2009 and 10, I could able to see not only me but other people in my lab, MTech and PhDs, they are working also on that machine. They're publishing the papers. So I could able to sense the machine is working very good, and see what is the opportunity that is there in the market where we can capture it. And I could able to sense the market for that particular machine. And one day I went to Professor Sharma and I just was telling him that, sir, I want to start the company. And he was so excited that, oh, that's wonderful. I mean, like, why so got excited? Because once you complete your PhD, ultimately you are going for the postdoc, or maybe you will be joining somewhere else as as a scientist, or maybe as a professor. Okay, but ultimately he said that you are the one who is going to choose a different path than the other people who are already doing it. I mean, like, so he was so excited that he said that you start immediately. Because I asked him, not immediately I want to start the company, but I want to start it after uh, my completion of my PhD. He said, anyway, your PhD will complete within the time. Within the time means always there is a 5 years of time, and you don't have to worry about it, but you start the company immediately. And that is how I started the company. Okay, so immediately in 2010, and that time there was no Startup India movement, no Stand Up India, nothing else. Okay, whatever you are going to do it, you have to do it yourself. So there were very few incubation center in India too. I mean, like, one of the incubation center was in our IITK and IIT Bombay and other IIT Madras. So almost it was there in the all the IITs, but the question was awareness was very less. The government support was very less. So I started in 2010. I have invested all my savings which I could able to save from my stipend. And that time there was 8,000 rupees was stipend, and I could able to save 2,000 rupees out of that for my futuristic expenses. But ultimately, when this came, so I invested all the money for the just to register my company. And from there we started it. Then we started manufacturing the electrospinning machine with a different versions, and we have sold these machines not only in India but also in Europe, Middle East, and then America, Russia, everywhere. You take, I mean, like, many of the countries we have supplied this machine. We could able to expand ourselves not only in India but major, the other countries. We have done the many collaborations and the partnership with the foreign countries. foreign companies. Then we have been selected top 5 nanotechnology company in 2017 and 18, and we got Times India award for the Nano Innovation Award and also Nano Innovation Award. And then we could also in 2021 we have been got the Nano Innovation Award by Bangalore Nano, by Professor Sena Rao, who is the pioneer in the field of nanotechnology. And then we got COVID Warrior Award from City Bank and the Dainik Jagran. These are the majorly achievement that we could able to. This is the team where myself, my wife Jagruti Patil, then my friend Dr. Sunil Dhole, another friend Mr. Nitin Charake, who joined later on, and we have started this company full fledged with the different products. So what is the nanotechnology? Here is the science comes in the picture. So everybody knows the nanotechnology today. Everybody knows what is nanotechnology. But what are the advantages to have the nanotechnology in place in materials in any terms? So take this photographs over here, and you can see the human hair is standing, is lying basically just underneath of that you have the nanofibers. You can see one human hair is covering almost half of the picture, but at the same time the nanofibers which are there, they are basically one nanofiber covering very little area, and underneath of that there are billions of nanofibers who got deposited. So this is ultimately the see this transformation from the larger scale to the smaller scale. The moment you reduce the scale down from micro to nano or from millimeter to nano, you can see there will be a lot of exposed surfaces. They are basically active sites of that material for the various application. So fiber diameter is less than 100 nanometer. That is what, and mostly we do 50 nanometer and less. Higher surface area, low density, large surface area to mass, high pore volume. And when the pore volume is very tight, you can use these materials for various applications. So how to make and how to create these nanofibers? There are various methods, various route like thermal induced phase separation, drawing, template synthesis, self assembly, centrifugal spinning. These are the methods and the methodologies where one can work on. So what ultimately is there? They have their own limitations. They're basically time consuming, and the output is very not repeatable. So one has to do work a lot on the front of the optimization parameters. There is another method that we have redesigned, because this is not patented. It was patented in 2019, I mean like 100 years back. And what was there? I mean, like they have just applied the high voltage on the polymer and could able to see the formation of the jets. We have redesigned that technology, redesigned the process, and we have used some kind of components, some kind of modifications, everything in the this thing, and could able to create the materials by using high voltage. So this is the technology. This is our second generation machine. Now we are at this third and fourth generation machines that we could able to do it. So what is the next is how the nanofibers can be created just by application of high voltage. So here is the picture of that, where you have the reservoir of polymer. This polymer is filled with I mean it is a solution of polymer basically. The polymer is dissolved in some kind of solvent where you can apply the high voltage and you can create, and other side you have the ground. So one side is the syringe, which is positive electrode, one side is the collector.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, एक
Yeah.
मिनिट. पीपीटी पहिलीच दिसते, नंतरचे पीपीटी दिसत नाहीयेत.
पहिले नंतरची नाही दिसत आहे
नाही दिसत आहे, एक फर्स्टच पीपीटी दिसते.
आता.
नाही नाही. हा, ओके, नाव इट्स ओके.
आता दिसते
हा, यस, ओके.
नाव.
ओके ओके ओके.
Okay, so you apply the high voltage and you can basically you have the, so I mean like हे सगळं आतापर्यंत पीपीटी दिसतच नव्हत्या का?
नव्हतं दिसत, फर्स्टच
My
दिसत
God.
होती. हा
सांगायला पाहिजे होतं ना मग.
हा, ते लेट लक्षात आलं.
Okay, so now you have the reservoir, polymer reservoir over here. You apply the high voltage, and then the polymer reservoir will get charged by using the high voltage. There will be jet formation that is called Taylor core. The moment you apply the high voltage, polymer get charged and it will be a critical threshold limit, and then ultimately you will get deposited this nanofiber on top of the collector. So the collector will basically have this kind of jet formation, this kind of jet formation like this, and there will be a deposition of nanomaterials on top of this plate. The process is very simple. What you need to do is that you should have the polymer solution, apply the high voltage, and ultimately you are able to get the nanofibers. There are various forces that are basically going to act: surface tension, gravity, viscosity, tangential, normal electric stresses, electric polarization. So here is the basically the forces that are going to act while doing it. This next slide is visible, Krishna.
Yes,
Hello.
yes. Yes,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So there are different morphologies that you can create with the nanofiber. So one is the basically solid nanofibers, hollow nanofibers, porous nanofibers, fibers with the bits. What you can do with these materials, there are many applications one can apply for, and that is basically environment, electronics, energy, defense, health, automotive, building, and consumers. These are the application one can explore with the nanofiber technology. So, using this technology, what we have done, we have created some kind of filtration techniques. I must tell you here, this was our first model for the nano machines to sell this nano machine and create the business model out of it. We could able to do it for few years, and then we have created a lot of machines, and then from machines to the pilot scale machine that we have created for the formation of large scale nanomaterials, and using those large scale nanomaterials in the form of membranes for the various air filtration application. So here is the example of that. Along with IIT Kanpur and BSc support, what we have done, we have created some kind of nanomaterials where the virus can be anchored on top of that, where the virus deactivation can be done. So what we have created nanofiber filter for the capturing COVID-19 virus. So this was the basically the thing. What is the important thing is that virus anchored with the nanofiber, long-lasting static charge, easy to incorporate nanoparticles for environment and the antibacterial activities, as well as you can use this for the reusable and washable. That is the major challenge today. Many people, they are using the fiber based, a mask, and ultimately what has happened, like you should, like we are just dumping those masks in a few days. So ultimately what is the solution? There is a landfill, there is a recycle, many stuff. But can we reduce the waste by just incorporating reusable and washable material? That is what we have done. And most importantly, today we are only saying that antiviral and antibacterial, but more importantly, virus and the bacteria deactivation is the important point that one has to see it. In 2017, we have created the mask that is basically based on nanofiber.
PPT does, hello? PPT
Huh?
does not change now. PPT change nahi hota.
There is a problem
Okay.
now.
You go to the presentation modes and change
You
the
go
slide
to the presentation mode and
and change the slide.
Okay,
then
so
change
I
the
will only do the presentation mode only then. This is fine now.
no, no. Presentation, okay. Now, oh, it's okay now.
Okay, now what I will do, I will show like this only then. Okay, I think there
Okay.
is a problem, some problem with the this the software that is we are using now. Okay, then
Yeah, yeah.
what we have created is the nanofiber mask, where this was in 2017-18 before the COVID. So you can consider it's the scenario that we could able to, since many times we could able to say it is basically anti-pollution, and we always used to have the anti-pollution mask, but there was no word that people used to say we need to have some kind of antibacterial antiviral mask. So we started looking at one point where in a year we always have once, like we used to say, अरे मुझे तो वायरल इन्फेक्शन हो गया, मला वायरल इन्फेक्शन झालंय. So this terminology comes in the picture when you have the acquired with a viral infection. What does it mean? Not corona, but there are many viruses in the atmosphere that are basically attacking our human system. So ultimately, we should have something where virus and the bacteria can be stopped. So we have innovated at IITK along with SIC and IIT Kanpur and my company. antiviral mask based on nanofiber technology, and that we have tested from Nelson Laboratory, USA. This is a very, very big lab for the viral and bacterial testing. Before you go NIOSH, then we have to do the testing. So from there, we tested this mask, and we could able to get 99.9% of filtration efficiency at PM 2.5 particles, and we could able to see higher. And we have named it not only N95 but N99. That is what we have come up in the this thing. Then another mask that we have created is the N95. This is that time also PM 2.5 and PM 0.2 for the same applications, and anti-pollution one is for the anti-pollution, one is for the antiviral. So another filter that we have created uh, for the uh, ventilator exhaust. So ventilator exhaust is having basically a exhaust which is a HEPA filter based. It doesn't suits very well with the when you filter out the viral load, and that time it creates a problem. So if the air goes outside the atmosphere, and there are other people also residing over there, so it will have the secondary contamination, secondary infection to the other people, other patients who are there. So what we have created retrofit of the nanofiber based filter, and that can be fitted with the existing HEPA filter, and you can able to easily take out the virus and the bacteria. Even you can deactivate the virus and the bacteria. That is what there. So what is the solution? Solution is basically nanofiber filter at the air vent, then will work at a low pressure, because most of the HEPA filter that fit doesn't have that much of the air pass easily. They always have the lot of air pressure to, I mean, lot of energy to push the air, and also will have the antibacterial antiviral material incorporated. Similarly, the positive suction pump that we have created another filter where the retrofit nanofiber based filter, and the existing HEPA filter can be taken out, and you can fit that filter, and you can also have the similar virus and the bacteria filtration and the deactivation compared to other HEPA filter which are in the market. Another thing that we have created, like during the COVID, uh, there are a lot of people, I mean, like frontier workers and our doctors have to wear the non-woven, basically PP fabric always, and the PP fabric doesn't have the air breathability. What is there that they have only limited, kind of air pass, and that makes them uncomfortable and not good for the for the longer time to wear it. So what is ultimate goal? Ultimate goal, the fabric should have some kind of breathability where it can be wear for the longer time. So we have coated a nano layer, very thin nano layer on top of it, where it will have the antibacterial antiviral effect. It won't allow that go inside, but air can go and you can have the breathability effect. So you can wear it. I mean, like doctors and the frontliners can wear it for a longer time. Similarly, I mean, like this is the media where it has been highlighted in many papers and many newspapers, not even in India but outside of the India also. uh, this was in Silicon India, where the company was highlighted, and this was the news which was in 2017 and 18. You can see 23rd July of 2017 was published in Jagran, which is the North India's biggest newspaper, where it was. So you can imagine we were working on that particular front where we wanted to have some kind of protection by using the nanofiber mask. Then we have a lot of kind of as I said in my presentation slide, that we could able not only in India but we could be able to reach maximum countries where we can make ourselves as a presence. I mean, like, and then what is the motivation to start? Okay, so this is important point to start with. Until now I was just mentioning you the technology, I was mentioning you the background and everything. Okay, you missed many slides in the front. I mean, like when I was talking about, and there were a lot of slides they were missed. It was picture over there, everything was mentioned over there. Okay, so let's start from here also. Like, what is the motivation to start? The motivation is, you can see in the four lines, where Today, 28% of Indian population, they are basically a youth. They are doing well in their chosen fields, but at the same time, they should also give back to the society. Who are the youth? We are the youth. You are the youth. Okay, so what is our this thing? I mean, like, what should be the goal? We should give back to the society. Entrepreneurship is the best way to contribute to the society in terms of economics and individual developments. Also, entrepreneurship depends on the interest and the passion. Our youth is talented and passionate. They just to recognize their skills and make the best of it. And ultimately, what is there that giving back to the society? uh, this is what we have is, like Bharat, uh, then Hindustan, then India. We have seen our country transformation. It was early, I mean, like, Gupta eras was the Bharat, then in the Mughal eras it was in Hindustan, and in British eras in India. So there was a lot of transformation was had happened about the country. What you see in India, I could able to see many problems. And if there are problems, that means we have a lot of opportunities to solve those problems. And we should work on that particularly. Okay. What are the problems? Problem is traffic, air pollution, water pollution, AI, take anything. Okay, population. Everything is the problem. If there are many problems, finding the problem is difficult. Finding the solution is not difficult. You must understand. Finding the problems is very difficult, but finding the solution is not difficult. Once you find the problem, the solution is very easy. So what is need to be addressed? Need to be addressed in entrepreneurship, find the right problem to solve particularly. So you are the perfect sandwich of that. And being an young engineer, you have the curiosity, creativity, and imagination with exceptional skills to innovate new products. Okay, that is what is you have. I mean, like, you can do whatever you want. And the other side of you have, that is the sandwich. It is outer layer, back layer, and outer layer, but in between there are many things which are incorporated. There are many things which are there. That is what we call basically curiosity, creativity, and imagination. So we have, always learned that many things. And there is a very nice quote by Mary Browning, and he said the preconceived notions are the locks on the door of to the wisdom to wisdom. See the line, there are only few words over there, but it has a lot deep meaning. What is that? Preconceived notions are the locks on the door to wisdom. And what are those preconceived notions? Like getting a job in good company, MNC companies. If you completed your PhD, you want to be a researcher or maybe the professor in the good institution. If I'll complete my PhD, I'll go for some postdoctoral position. These are the fixed target. Those fixed target called the preconceived notions. Okay, we have already decided. We already going to decide what I'm going to be. But ultimately, that is not happening always, and it doesn't happen always. Okay, so to avoid that, we always been taught try to think out of the box, but importantly understand that there is no box. Okay, so your thinking is limitless. You don't have to think out of the box. You always think in a different way, that there is no boundaries, there is no box. So think big, think different, be confident. What is that? See, you can see there are seven manicures, and one manicure is looking after. So he has a question: is it different than the others? And what is that? We pay to kill cockroaches and the spiders. In Thailand, they pay to eat cockroaches and the spiders. Okay, so what will be the idea? What is the business idea over here? Business idea is like in India, to kill the cockroaches and the spiders, we have, like chemicals. We buy the hits, we spray the on them, and we are killing the cockroaches. What will be the innovative idea? Innovative idea is like we can create the innovative trap to hold them or maybe catch them, and make the pickles and sell these pickles to basically, Thailand, or earn the money in dollars. This is the innovative way to think about it. Success mantra, it treats your school as a full-time job. Life is always start with the question, be realistic about the amount of work you can get done in given period. Okay, it is not something that you should not force yourself, like, okay, I will do that, I will do this. I mean, multiple tasks, yes, of course one should do it, but limited to our capability. I think be realistic about one's own strength and the weaknesses is also important for being a successful in the any field. Develop some hobbies or inclination towards doing something for the society. Importance of the discussion and the collaboration. This is where we fail mostly in India. It is important to generate ideas. It is important to discuss it with the people as well. More you discuss, more ideas will get generated. You will get confident and a clear path to move forward. But mostly on the second point, we fail to do. And what is the reason that we always think that whatever I am thinking, that someone will copy of that, someone will copy this and he will start, but it doesn't happen always. Never. It is very, chance is only 1%. Okay, so create some hobbies, discuss with them, try to move away. I mean, like, try to move forward rather than just holding it out. Make such groups, identify people, it is a woman you or to whom you think or can guide you. Talk to your teachers. It is also important that you should talk to your teachers about the problem what you want to solve. This is what we have mostly. I'll just skip it because there are many things to discuss. And what is important is the value of death. And the value of death is basically the idea, the research, the whatever we are doing it at the lab that doesn't transform towards the industry. So the value of death is very big, and every idea, whatever we are doing, that is getting dead over there. Now this is the time we have the opportunity. One can have the bridge between these two. The value of death can be, taken it out. And this is the small video that I will be playing. I don't know whether you can be able to listen. Yeah. Then the coming to an end, this is the quote we always used. I always used to say, "Future is a mystery. Both good and bad can happen. One should not be intimidated by fear of failures. Think of innovative ideas and take the plunge." And what is the meaning of this? Meaning is like, we whatever we do, we always think the futuristic way. Yes, very good, but we also decides the outcome of it. That if I will do this, I will be this. But this doesn't happen always, and very rare, very few cases that happens. So don't think of the very futuristic way. If that can be the case, you can be a prime minister of India. I mean, like, anyone can think of that I will be a prime minister of India, if you can see in the futuristic way, but that doesn't happen always. So be confident and just rely on your thoughts and act accordingly. Forget about the future, how it is going to happen. That will anyway, that is always positive. Future is always positive. Your act, they are deciding whether it is positive or negative. Okay, it is a perspective to think on how to take that. So uh, विवेकानंद जी नेहमी म्हणतात, उठो जागो और तब तक रुको नहीं जब तक लक्ष्य प्राप्त ना हो जाए. And this was the moment when we have been, globally recognized, when our mask was worn by our Prime Minister Modi ji during the Ayodhya Puja. This was the the what you call life changing moment for our company, our startup. And thank you so much. Thank you, Krishna. Though we missed the initial slides, they were very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions? Anything else?
Any question from audience? Any question? If you have any question, you may ask to sir now. Put-
Okay, so if there is no question, so we can move ahead.
एक Sir, any question? Mane sir?
Yes, sir. I want to ask you regarding the you can say funding, because many students are struggling with the same point. Okay, they are from the private institute, and how they can approach to get funding for their idea, because what we see is they got ideas, but what they struggle is for the funding.
So, see, actual problem is like funding is always available, institutional level. If you are incubated in some of the institutions or maybe incubation center, then you will get the funding. But the funding skills are very different. It is not something. If you ask for 1 CR immediately once you started, yes, it can be. But the question is how good is your business model is. Okay, so if business model is not good, then you may not be able to. How good is the technology? Nowadays there are many government funding schemes everywhere, state level and the center level. One has to see, go to the Startup India portal, you will see a lot of funding schemes who are there. Okay, but again, the moment you start applying it, you will have to basically have to wait a lot. Okay, almost 6 months or 1 year. So that is basically a little bit of hurdle. So the moment you think that when can, I mean, like you want to go for the funding, then you should immediately apply for the funding to get that, because it is not immediately that you are going to. So this is one model. The other models are there are investors available on your doorstep. There are many this thing. So you just have to apply for it. You can able to get the funding nicely. So these are the basically structure. Okay, so funding, yes, earlier it was not, but today we have the funding available very easily.
Sir, how much you got for the first time for your idea? How much funding you got?
I have not asked for funding till now. It is a
Okay,
self
that's
and
a
boost
great
for
news, sir.
business. Yeah. I have
Yeah,
not
that
asked
means
for.
that myth is broken because many people thinks that they need crores of rupees or at least lakhs of rupees to start business.
No, no, no.
And from your example, you built the product is as well as the machinery by yourself, and still you're saying that you are able to manage it with your savings only.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is a great news, sir. Good to hear that.
Even we have not asked for the loans. Just now we for the expansion we took the loan from, that is also from the nationalized only the Sidbi Bank. Otherwise, we have not even asked for the loans. So
Yeah, that's great, sir.
yeah,
So no questions from my side.
yeah. Perfect
Bobre sir,
then,
please check
Krishna.
the chat box if students are putting any question in chat box. YouTube.
Yes, I could see, but there are no questions. Only good
No question.
mornings.
No question. No question. Chat. No question.
Okay, I think there is no question.
Yeah, yeah. There are no questions.
Okay, then let's we'll go for the vote of thanks. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Very good afternoon to all. On behalf of all student and staff, I'm glad to be here to express my vote of thanks. I give the special thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Sandip Patil, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Sandeep
Krishna.
Patil.
Thanks a lot.
Your thoughts have truly inspired us and our student. So I thank once again. I thank you, our guest. I thank our HOD, Dr. Nitin Kanse, for always supporting and guiding us. I thank our Professor Jayant Mane sir, ICC coordinator, Phenolics Academy of Management and Technology Ratnagiri, for supporting and taking initiative with organizing such a wonderful event. Thank you, Mane sir. I thank our faculty and staff, and I think I would be failing in my duties if I didn't not thanks my fellow student who have made this day possible. I would also like to thank each and every one of you for being here and making this day a wonderful and memorable. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all, and
Thank you so much.
thank you all.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.
End the